Well, after 12 months and 20,000 miles, he has exactly what I think of this 2024 Model 3 Tesla. So just to recap what this is, it's a 2024 Model 3 standard range rear wheel drive. Now it's got the black interior and the pearlescent white paint was a non-cost option at the time. So this is basically the cheapest Model 3 Tesla you can buy. Now, one of the main reasons for buying the Model 3 was the standard spec. So you get a 15.4 inch front screen, an 8 inch rear screen. The car also comes with 8 dash cams essentially, so that records when you're traveling. Also, the rear automatic boot opening, so you basically approach the car, as long as you get your phone in your pocket, the boot will open for you. So that's a great handy little feature. You also get heated and cooled leather seats. And to complement that, you also get a heated steering wheel. Another thing that's great with the Model 3 Tesla is the app control. Now you can set your temperatures with the car with this. You can open the boot, close the boot, switch your heated seats on, heated steering wheel, all that sort of stuff. And another one is the Matrix LED headlights. These are fantastic on the Model 3. And another thing is the keyless entry. You just approach the car and open the door and off you go. And the same when you leave the car as well. You shut the door and walk away. Another great feature is the full leather interior and also a fantastic panoramic roof. And these are all standard features of the Model 3. So like I said, we've had this car for just over a year now actually. So I'll take you back to when we bought it, which would have been, it was about July of 2024 when we put the order in. Now the dealer experience with Tesla is quite a bit different to what I've seen with other, car manufacturers, dealerships. Now with Tesla, there was no kind of pressure when we went in to see them and have a look at the cars. Because we initially went in, we were car shopping basically, called in, had a look. Really liked the car. The sales guy at the time was just kind of pointed out the features of the car and then said if we were interested in a test drive, we could book in for a test drive. So a little bit later, we did do that. We just went online, filled the details in, arranged a time. My wife and I went down and then we basically turned up, licenses handed over, that sort of thing, checked you were who you were, and then you were just basically shown around the car how to drive it, and then you were given I think it was about half an hour we got to take the car away. So that was quite a nice experience. At that point as well, to be fair, we didn't end up doing anything at the time, simply because of the cost. But that brings us on to the first reason why we did end up buying this car, and that was the 0% finance. Now I have checked, and I think Tesla are still running that at the minute. But when we bought this car, that was the first thing that made us pick the Tesla over some of the other cars we were looking at the time. I should also mention when we actually put the order in for the car, that whole process was done online basically. So if I remember rightly, you ended up having to get the app and then you kind of order through the app, which was a totally different experience to any previous other vehicles we've bought. Now there was one little niggle that I had at the time. We were due to go on holiday, and the first car they allocated to us when we put the order in was basically going to get delivered, and we had to take delivery of it within a certain amount of time. But that fell when we were on holiday, and there was a little bit of kind of, we'll have to put you on an allocation for another car. Now the worry was the 0% finance term was ending I think at the time it was at the end of August, beginning of September, so you had to have your car delivered by then. So the first car we'd been allocated was definitely going to be on time for the 0% finance, but I was a bit concerned that the second one might have ended up coming too late, which previously it wouldn't have been a problem. We would have been allocated a car at another car manufacturer's dealer, and then if the car had to sit and wait for another week, that would have been fine. That was the only thing with Tesla that I thought they weren't very, how would you say, they weren't very flexible with that. But that's just the way they work, I suppose. But that was the only downside to the whole process. The rest of it was all absolutely fine. You got your kind of updates through the app. You paid a deposit through the app, and the finance stuff was all kind of done through the app as well. So that went all okay. If you're thinking about buying a Model 3, there is a referral code in the description down below. Now that will give you £500 off or 650 free supercharger miles if you use that referral code. Now I'll get some free charger miles as well, but you will also get either the miles or money off the purchase of a new Tesla Model 3. Also, just wanted to say, if you think this video is any good, please give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel. I will be doing some more Tesla videos in the future. Right, let's get back to the video. So what is this car like to drive? Now, I've never driven the previous Model 3, but it did get a bit of stick for the ride not being the best. Now, this one, I've obviously only got this one to compare to, but previous cars we've had quite a lot of VWs, to be honest, and ride comfort-wise, it is probably similar to if you've driven a VW, kind of diesel Golfs, diesel Tiguan's, that sort of thing. To me, it's not soft, it's on the firmer side, but it isn't bad. It's a nice ride. So I'm just driving over some kind of speed bumps here at the minute, funnily enough. But yeah, ride comfort I think is really good for this car and compared to previous ones we've had. Now, performance terms, i.e. handling and acceleration, I mean, this is just the standard Model 3, so it's not a slouch by any means. So 0 to 60 is 5.8 seconds, which again, this is the basic car, so that's the slowest one you get. Now, the power is, with it being electric, if you plant your foot, you literally get all the power immediately. So it does feel very quick. Certainly initially when you that first dump of torque you get with an electric motor, it does feel fairly quick. Now, handling wise, these things are quite heavy. It's an electric car, it's a decent sized electric car, so they are quite heavy. So handling wise, it's not a Porsche by any means, but it certainly handles absolutely fine. See, we've just touched on the ride quality and the suspension. It certainly inspires a bit of confidence. I mean, wouldn't exactly like to take it on laps of the Nürburgring, but certainly from getting A to B, if you're wanting to get there spiritedly, it'll more than achieve that for you. Like I say, it does feel like you're driving something a bit over a normal, a normal saloon car, put it that way. And I suppose that'll bring on to how well does the car stop. Now, again, we're not racing this car, so for normal driving, with it being electric, you can pretty much get away with almost one pedal driving. So basically, when you lift your foot off the accelerator, the electrics basically start regenning, and then that's putting a little bit of charge back into the battery for you. Now that, obviously when that happens, it slows the car down more than it would, if you were just lifting your foot off the accelerator. So you can pretty much most of the time drive the car with just the one pedal. I mean, yes, when you come to junctions and stuff like that, or if you need to pull up the car a bit quicker, you need to use the brake pedal. But I would say probably 70-80% of the time you can drive the car just off the one pedal. Now the brakes, when you do need them, they are pretty good. There's no problems at all with the brakes. I think these have got 4-pod calipers on the front, so they have got decent brakes if and when you need them. Now the WLTP range is 323 miles. Now, like anything, if you've bought previous petrols and diesels, the quoted figures, what you get or what you could get, aren't always exactly what you get. So WLTP is the sort of equivalent of that. So this being 323 miles. Now, realistically, we are seeing around about 270 miles when we fully charge it on the range on the screen. Now, the range on the screen on these is pretty accurate. We have done a few longer journeys, and from what I can tell, it is pretty accurate. Now, obviously, that suffers a little bit more in the winter because the batteries don't perform quite as well in the winter, and you're running the heating in the car more. Now, these do have a heat pump that handles the heating and the air conditioning, which is more efficient than what we had in our previous electric car. Now, in terms of charging, we do, I would say, high 90% worth of our charging at home. Now, we've basically just got a little charger on the side of the house. It is fairly slow. It's a 7 kilowatt charger, so it is fairly slow, to be honest, but it charges overnight, and we are on a cheaper electric rate for when the car charges, so it works out fairly cost effective. Now, we have charged the car a few times on Tesla's supercharging network. So when we first got the car, we did get a few free miles. So the first couple of times we used it, we were on the Tesla free miles. But the last long trip we did down to Birmingham was just paying out of our pocket. And I think it was actually cheaper than what I was expecting per kilowatt, to be honest, having used the higher speed chargers with the previous car. But the Tesla ones, the last two charges we did on Tesla superchargers were 40 pence a kilowatt. So I think that worked out at the time. It was about £18 and £24, I think, that it cost us to supercharge the car last time. So it's not too bad. You do all the saving is if you can charge the car at home on a cheap nighttime tariff. That is where you get the biggest savings. Now, on the charging, there's been absolutely zero issues with this car and charging it, whether that be at home or on superchargers. It's just plugged it in and it's charged, and that has been it. So no issues whatsoever there. So just on one of the reasons why we went for electric in the first place on the previous car was we were running a VW Tiguan, which was our main family car. My wife used it to get to and from work. Now, she had quite a long commute, and we were probably spending £200 to £300 a month on diesel. It's probably where it was. Now, that was a pretty economical diesel, 2-litre diesel, and when we came to change that car, we did start looking at other options, and electric came up and did some figures, and charging at home obviously makes it very cheap. Now, we went from spending anything from £200 to £300 a month on diesel to spending about £30 a month on electricity for that same amount of mileage. Now, the cost of electric's gone up a bit since then, but you do get your biggest saving on running electric cars if you can charge them at home on a cheap rate of electric. Now, after running this car for just over a year, and it is almost up to 20,000 miles now, I was having a look at the service schedule for this car. Now, Teslas aren't renowned for having a massive amount of service that they need, so I was having a flick through it, and basically think about the only thing I should really do is rotate the tyres, is the only thing it really suggests. But that is in the future. There is kind of brake fluid that will need done, and cabin air filters was about the only other one that cropped up. But there is quite a few little maintenance tips, how-to guides and stuff on Tesla's website. Now, I might go through some of them and possibly do a video about them in the future. But basically, maintenance with Tesla seems to be a lot less than the majority of other car manufacturers. But this one So far, a year down the line, we've had no maintenance issues whatsoever. Tyre wear, to be honest, has been pretty good. This has got Bridgestone tyres on, and I haven't got the exact measurement, but they're a long way from needing replaced, and that is with 20,000 miles on the clock now. So I would say they've at least got 40,000 miles in them before they're going to need changed. I mean, obviously, it depends on the way you drive your car, how quickly you'll wear your tyres off. But this one, 20,000 miles, loads of tread left on them. So I also wanted to mention the fit and finish of this car. Now, again, if you've watched any other videos, previous Model S's, earlier Model 3s did get a little bit of stick for kind of build quality, panel gaps, that sort of thing. But honestly, I can say this one is built as well as anything that I've ever driven. Obviously, 20,000 mile on it now, time will tell if that continues. But in terms of the fit and finish of this car, the materials used inside, the leather, the door cards, it feels like a premium vehicle. We've got a 15-inch screen in the front, there's an 8-inch screen in the back. It feels like you're getting a lot for your money, and the fit and finish of it is also very, very good. So now just want to chat through some of my favourite features about this Model 3 Tesla. Now the first one I want to talk about is software updates. Now our previous electric car never managed over-the-air software updates. It did go back to the dealership for a few over the time we had it. But this car, from the start, the over-the-air updates have worked absolutely fine. It basically is equivalent to your iPhone updating. So you get a notification that there's a software update available. You then basically, if you don't do anything, it'll just schedule it for that night, or you can choose to install it or download it there and then. But we normally just let it do its thing and it installs overnight. Now, it does tell you when you first get in the car after a software update that it has done a one, and you can click on the screen and it will tell you a bit of information about what has been updated. Now, the other way you can see it is through the app on the car. Now, that is the other thing I want to talk about with this car, is the app that comes with it. Now, getting in and out of the car, you basically use your phone as a key. Now, that is kind of integrated into the app, but you can also set departure times, play with your air conditioning, switch it on and off, do various things with the app. Now, again, the previous electric car we had, the app was pretty poor, to be honest, whereas the Tesla one is night and day difference. Everything just works, it works instantly. Never really had any problems with it. So I suppose it can't be all everything absolutely fine. Now, I wanted to go through a couple of not so good things about Teslas. Now, the first one is could be a good, could be a bad, and that is Elon Musk himself. Now, he has caused a few political issues or arguments, I would say, this year. But if you can look past that, he is quite a very focused individual. I mean, it's not that many car manufacturers that have achieved what Tesla has in the amount of time they've been around, and a lot of that can be attributed to him. So Elon Musk is the first one. Now, the second thing that's not so good, which I will try and zoom in. So paint work. There's a couple of stone chips there you can see on the bonnet. Now, generally the car is in pretty good condition, but it is only a year, just over a year old. Now, I do get the impression, because of them couple of little chips on the bonnet, and there's also a couple of little ones there and there. There's a few more little ones floating about. Now, I do think the paintwork is slightly on the soft side compared to some of the German counterparts vehicles. But it is something we're just going to have to keep an eye on at the minute. There's not much we can do about it, to be honest. But that's bad point number 2. And we're back inside for the last bad point I can come up with this car, which, to be honest, I'm clutching at straws a little bit because it isn't actually that bad and you do get used to it. But in Tesla's mission to get rid of as many buttons and switches as they can, there is no indicator stalk here. And these are your indicator buttons. Now, it does take a little getting used to, and I actually don't drive this car day in, day out like my wife does, but I can tend to, use it at the weekends. Now, I drive a vehicle that's got a normal indicator stick during the week, and I can jump in this and, work these buttons fine now. But it would probably be more straightforward if it had a little indicator stalk like every other car on the market has. So it's a tenuous one, but it's bad point number 3. And to be honest, that is the last one because I really can't fault much else on this car at this point. So 1 year later, would I still buy this car if I was buying it today? And the answer is definitely yes. And the reason for that is I still think for the spec you get with these cars, for the price point, they aren't too bad value for money. And combine that with the efficiency of these in the electric car world, that is why I would still buy this car today. Now, if you've got any questions about this car, about the running of it, anything like that, please stick them in the comments down below and I will get back to them. Now, if you've liked this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel, and we will see you in the next one.